What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. So just like clockwork, Rikishi is crashing out about how WWE is booking his son, Jey Uso. More specifically, because he lost the World Heavyweight Championship on Monday Night Raw. Now, before we get started, I just want to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers watching this video, whether you're a biological father, a stepfather, or someone that's a father figure mentoring any kids. I just want to say you guys are appreciated. What you're doing is changing the world if you haven't heard that already. And just keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. So, speaking of Father's Day, let's see what Rikishi has to say about his son. Let's get into it.
Good, sometimes bad, hey, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
True.
But let me go ahead and speak on what y'all made viral.
Uh-oh.
Let me go ahead and speak on what y'all made go trending out there.
We did that?
And I'm talking about my son, Jey. I'm talking about what y'all put out there. Some of y'all are happy that Jey's reign then came to an end. And some of y'all are out there making your voices heard about the days that he's held this belt of 51 days. 51 days for this champion. Wow. Let me back up for a second.
Take your time.
We talking about a kid that 16 plus years that put in work. We talk about a kid that combined with him and his brother, merchandise sales to the roof as a tag team.
That's true.
Now breaks off in a single competitor. If you can tell me that anybody else is selling any merchandise higher than Yeet, I want you to tell me, by all means. Generating revenue for the company. What was that saying? What's good for business? And then you have a kid.
You know what? I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna hold you. If Rikishi, the point that he's making about the business part, right? And since WWE at this point in time has been over corporatized and they're so focused on a bottom line and revenue and making money, if we're talking about just specifically that, Rikishi got a point. Because I don't know what other shirts are selling better than the Yeet shirts right now. You know, maybe I'm wrong. I haven't checked it, but I've seen whenever I watch it or I go to WWE in person, I see a ton of Yeet shirt, glasses, everything all over the place. All over the place. And the Yeet movement doesn't look like it's dying anytime soon. It doesn't. So, for that, he has a point, man. He has a point.
That put his heart and soul, just like everybody else that's out there on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Put their heart and soul to get to that main event spot. And finally, when he gets there, you know what I feel? Here's what I feel. I feel that those are writing for this kid. His storyline, you didn't do him justice.
You know what? Hey, I'm going to have to give another one to him. I'm not going to hold you again. He has a point. Because one of the things that I was concerned about when I went to Royal Rumble and Jey Uso won the Rumble, I was shocked by it. I was happy for him. But the first thing that came to my mind is like, what are they going to do post the moment? Because I was like, I don't think WWE knows what to do with Jey Uso post the moment, post winning the championship, post WrestleMania, right? And then another part of me was like, you know what? I didn't know what they were going to do with Damian Priest, and he ended up being arguably one of the best World Heavyweight Champions so far, right? Since the new iteration of that title. But what we saw this year, WWE just proved to us that they didn't know what to do with Jey Uso after that. They were gunning for the moment, but didn't know what to do after the fact. So, hey, Rikishi got a point on that one.
You didn't feed this champion right talent to be able to continue to make this champion. Mm-hmm. Not a fair shot in my eyes. So you go 51 days. I say fire. Fire those that are writing for this kid here.
Whoa.
If you can't come up with something simple to promote and push your champion, that you, not me, you decide to put this kid in that position.
I don't know about firing all of them, man. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. Maybe I'm a little bit too soft on people losing their jobs. But at this, can we be honest, wrestling family? Can we be honest for a little bit? And I'm still the positive guy when it comes to WWE. if how they booked Jey Uso at this point in time as champion is what made you think that they need to fire people, then it looks a little biased, right? Because there's other situations that's happened in the past year where the writing and the booking of certain wrestlers don't make any sense. Karen Cross, so many other people. Those are moments that they really could say, hey, let's fire those individuals, which I don't agree with. Or we could talk about other champions. Look what they're doing with Io Sky. She hasn't really done nothing with that title. And I love Io Sky. I've been a fan of her since Io Shirai. Look at what they're doing with Tiffany Stratton. Nothing interesting with that title. The most interesting thing they're doing right now involving any singles titles on the main roster is what they're doing with Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria, and Lyra Valkyria and Bayley for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. As far as the main rosters, it doesn't matter what singles title you're talking about. Now, the thing with the U.S. Championship between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, since we saw what happened at Money in the Bank, yeah, that's building up. But as far as the most interesting is the Becky Lynch situation and then the Jacob Fatu number 2. As far as the main titles, they're not doing in the illustrious words of my boy Wolf from the Wolf Den podcast, WWE doesn't know how to book their world champions right now. And it's showing that. We saw what happened with Gunther. We just saw what happened with Jey Uso. We see what's going on with John Cena.
And then that's it. All of a sudden, the brains done went, just cloudy, like you can't write. You can't think of an angle for Jey. Well, if you can't do your job, I say, best endeavors. Get the hell out the way. Put somebody in that position. Because the longer you keep the belt on this kid, the longer we talk about what's good for business. Merchandise sales to the roof.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Last I knew. If you can't make money for the company, why are you in that position? So now they passed the belt on to Gunther. For whatever reason. Hey, I ain't got no beef with Gunther. I ain't got no beef with any of those that are on the roster. I ain't got no beef with that. And if I do, I'm going to say it to your face because that's just the type of man I am.
You had to put that in there.
But let me back up.
Good luck, Kishi.
Good luck if that's what your choice is to go that way. But let me back up and continue my thoughts on my son as far as, his run as the world champion.
Okay.
I didn't think it was justice. I didn't think it was fair. 51 days, that was it. I mean, in a Continental Belt, a short run, that was it. Like, what is it? What is it?
Hey, you know what? You got another point. Because it'd be different if it was just the World Heavyweight Championship. Then it's like, okay, all right, Rikishi, it's just the World Heavyweight Championship. And I still have some thoughts that kind of oppose what he's saying. But in this instance, yeah, I get it. But for both the Intercontinental Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship, he get a short run. Yeah, that's a bit crazy right there. That's a bit crazy.
Against my boy, that you just feel like when you had done that to Randy Orton, if you threw the belt on Randy Orton for him, would you have done that to John Cena?
Whoa, all right, Rikishi, we gotta relax. We gotta relax, okay? See, this is the thing. When you try to make these points, and that's in general, don't throw people's names in there, okay? Because you may not be processing whose names and what gravity is behind their name that you throw in there. Because now people who's hearing this like, I can't believe he compared him to Jey Uso to John Cena and compared him to Randy Orton. That's all they're gonna hear. They're not gonna hear nothing else outside of it. And in this situation, I ain't gonna hold you. I don't want no problems with Rikishi or any Samoans that's on this planet Earth. I rock with Common Kings. I see what Samoans do to people when they get down. I don't want no parts of that. All right. But let's just be a little factual. Respectfully, of course. All right. Shout out to 6 Foot. But if you think about it, they did do that to Randy Orton. If you look at Randy Orton's title reigns, a lot of them do not hit triple digits. He got some that's 25 days, some that's 30 days, 50 days, 90 days as World Heavyweight Champion. He's only had a couple that hits past 100 days, but all the other ones are somewhere in the range of 20 to 50 to 60, that range from 20 to 90, somewhere in there. So they have already done it to Randy Orton. Same could be said about John Cena, whether it be, for so many different reasons, right? Now, he's had longer reigns more often than Randy Orton has, but if you want to compare it to Jey Uso, then, it's happened to John Cena. It has. But also, if we're talking about Randy and John Cena right now, you don't want to put your son in that category, although he's part of one of the greatest, if not the greatest tag teams of all time in the Usos. I love them. I respect them. Me and my brother wanted to be an Uso so bad, especially when they were in the Uso Penitentiary, the heart and soul of probably the Bloodline storyline in Jey Uso. But as far as acumen and things like that, and I don't want to say this to diminish Jey Uso as a wrestler, because that's not my point at all. I'm just trying to make the point. This is why you don't want to compare people to other people, because the things that not Jey Uso, but Randy Orton and John Cena has accomplished as singles competitors, right? What Jey Uso has done as a singles competitor doesn't compare to that. So the treatment for the two will be a lot different. Will be a lot different, right? John Cena getting this long title reign right now, as far as his retirement, thinking of all the things he's contributed to WWE in his entire career as a singles competitor, is way different than what Jey. Now, if we're talking about tag teams, that's a whole different conversation for a different day. But I wish he wouldn't have done that. I wish Rikishi wouldn't have mentioned John Cena or Randy Orton. But maybe he just views his son that way. But then when you do that, although we understand that it's a father trying to protect and have love for his son, fans are going to start thinking there's a little bit of delusion going on right here, and a little bit of bias that's clouding information that's readily out there when you Google it.
I mean, let's talk about it. Because last I knew, the last time we seen WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, damn it, he had the whole arena. The whole arena. Yeet. Yeet,
Yeah,
yeet,
I was there.
yeet your motherfucking ass, yeet. So come on. Come on. Somebody tell me. Tell me, what is it? The Bloodline has gave our heart and soul to this industry. 75 plus years, past, right, present, and future. And God damn it, this is the way we treat it. This is the way y'all look at us.
But I don't understand. How can he say that when Roman Reigns had this man had a reign for like 5 million years, bro? Like, we was watching wrestling for 3 years, and Roman Reigns had the title every single time we watch wrestling, bro. I don't, like, I get that he's upset, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, and everybody knows what the Bloodline contributed to wrestling. If you don't, you just started watching wrestling today. Everybody knows. Everybody respects the Samoan dynasty, right? But I don't think what they did with Jey Uso with this title reign, I don't think what the Bloodline in the entire dynasty of Samoans, what they've contributed to pro wrestling as a whole, because they've done a whole lot. Can't take that away from them. I don't think that should affect how they should book Jey Uso. Now, I will say I thought that his title reign was at least going to go to SummerSlam or maybe a Night of Champions. But I didn't think it was going to happen on a random episode of Raw. Like, that is kind of weird, because it's like, okay, if the rumors are true and they just want Gunther to have the title going into Saturday Night Main Event, they could have at least gave Jey Uso an opportunity to lose his title at Night of Champions, which opportunity to lose your title sounds crazy, but I don't understand why it didn't happen at Night of Champions. Then Gunther could have, probably choked out Jey Uso even more after Goldberg comes in for the save. We get Goldberg versus Gunther at Saturday Night's Main Event. I don't understand it, but at the very least, at least Jey Uso passed out instead of getting squashed or getting pinned or anything like that, But let's continue.
That's just ain't right, man. Ain't right. We've never been a problem. We've always been the source. The last I knew, the Bloodline, from Roman Reigns all the way down to the Usos, continuing on to Sepha, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu.
Mm-hmm.
The last I knew, back when it was COVID, fans were on the screen of TV. Who kept WWE afloat?
The Bloodline.
Come on.
Facts. The
You
Bloodline.
want to talk?
Yeah,
y'all want to go there? Let's go facts, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do facts. This was way before TKO came in the picture. Who's carrying that? On the backs of the family. That's who it was. On the backs of the Bloodline. Give Roman Reigns his props.
Hey, he got his
Give
props.
the Uso their props. Give them their flowers. This is what I'm saying. My words are not my family words.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it there because I don't want to get like hit with a copy strike. But I love the fact that he made the distinction that he did not. These are things coming from his mouth, not from his family's mouth. I appreciate he did that. But yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, it is weird how they did it. I personally felt like Jey Uso didn't need a long title run. I felt like the WWE, the fact that they're kind of getting away from those long title runs is what they need to do, which makes things more exciting, more fresh. And with Rikishi being from the Attitude Era, it's very interesting because if you go back to the Attitude Era, you look at people like Stone Cold Steve Austin and so many others, their title runs weren't like half a year. They weren't a whole year of title runs. They hot potatoed it during that time, and it was entertaining because anything could happen at any time. When you got a wrestler who got a title, and you know they're not gonna lose it to WrestleMania, it makes all the matches that happen on that title run like, okay, we know that they're not gonna lose the title. So all we expecting for is a good match, nothing surprising to happen. Which is what made, if you think about it, Damian Priest title run for the World Heavyweight Championship so surprising, so shocking, and so great, is because we thought that every week he was gonna lose the title. And when he kept winning, we're like, oh, he still has it. Oh, he still had it. He would put on some pretty good matches. So I see the Jey Uso fans saying this. I seen so many, like, Jey Uso should have had a long title run going all the way to the next wrestler. Like, everybody doesn't need a whole year with the title. They don't. Now, could they have done it a little bit more respectfully for Jey Uso and tried a little bit harder on the creative side? I agree with Rikishi on that. They could have tried harder with that, but maybe this is an opportunity to keep him away from the title, come back around a little bit later when he's champion again at some point in time, if that happens, and try to make something more creative. Like I said before, them not making the match between Jey Uso and Gunther at WrestleMania, some type of first blood, no stipulation, no DQ, no holds barred, some type of match, given what happened to Jimmy, was a missed opportunity to have something crazy and big happen during the title reign of Jey Uso outside of him just winning the title. But that's just my personal opinion about this. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Is Rikishi, is he going crazy, or does he have some points? Is he half and half? I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Again, happy Father's Day to the fathers out there. Salute, peace. Have a great day.